So this is supposed to be homework, but I'm going to make it an ed puzzle. And if you know how to do it, then your job is to just go through that ed puzzle on speed 2 and just make sure you're solid, okay? I think some of it you think, oh man, I totally got this. And some of it you are probably appreciative that I'm going over it. Okay, so I'm going to distribute here. Distribute. Negative 2x minus 8 equals. I don't think the left is the issue. The right is what the issue is, and these are common mistakes you make. The 35 is not touching the parentheses. The negative is, and a lot of you go, hey, that's like an imaginary negative 1. So I like doing that, and I like circling it, giving it, and giving it, which is distribution, which is what you did on the left. But you're giving the negative 1, or you're giving the negative and making it opposite. So it's 35 minus 7 plus 4x. These are the same. Negative 2x minus 8 equals 28 plus 4x. I'm going to move this to the left. I'm going to move this to the right. Now again, I go quickly. I could have made a mistake. Divide, x equals negative 6. And some of you go, well, Ms. Rifkin, if this is on my quiz, I really want to make sure that I'm right before I submit it. So how could I check it? So let me get some scratch paper and show you. You could go negative 2, negative 6 plus 4. I'm literally going to plug in the answer I got. Okay. Now, what if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, there's two options. Option 1 is I checked it wrong. And option 2 is I actually did the problem incorrectly. So what I did is I took my answer, negative 6, and I put it in whenever I saw an x. So you've got to know your PEMDAS game, or plugging it in to check is just not going to help you. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So on the left I get 4. That means when I simplify the right side, I better get 4. If I don't get 4, either I made a mistake plugging it in, or I made a mistake up here. So I know based on PEMDAS, negative and a negative is a positive, plus 7. All that's in parentheses is 31. So all of that gave me 31. 35 minus 31 is 4. So I know that I'm good to go. Now, why is that important? I'm going to be correcting your tests. And whenever I do that, if I don't check to see if my work's right, then how do I know? Okay, that's like sending a text and not even checking it to see if it's spelled right. And you'll notice I have sent some texts and I have not done spell check because I've been really overwhelmed. But imagine if I sent something that was kind of inappropriate. I could not take that back. Okay? All right. Now let's look at letter B. In letter B, the issue is that there's a number on the bottom. So I don't like when there's numbers on the bottom because that's intimidating to me. So if those numbers were gone, my life would be easier. So I know that this means divide by 7. This means divide by 5. So how do I get rid of things? Well, how did you move the 4x? You did the opposite. So how would you get rid of the divided by 7? Well, multiply by 7. Well, if I'm going to multiply by 7 and I'm going to multiply by 5, why don't I just multiply by 35? And then 35 goes into 7 5 times. Distribute. 35 goes into 5 7 times. Put the 7 here. Distribute. And now my life is easier. Now some of you go, Miss Rifkin, seriously, my teacher taught me that whenever you do this, all you do is you make an x and you multiply what touches. So 5x minus 20, 56 minus 21x. Oh, I got the same thing. And you go, well then, Ms. Rifkin, why don't I just do it this way? It's so much easier. Well, what about when you have a problem that's more complex? Like that, I think you've already seen it. What if I have 3 over 2x plus 1 over 7 equals 9x over 3? What am I going to do? So I would go, hey, this is divided by 2x, this is divided by 7, and this is divided by 3. So multiply by 3, multiply by 7, multiply by 2x. So if I'm multiplying by 3 and by 7 and by 2x, what am I really multiplying by? Just kidding, 42x. If I multiply this by 42x and this by 42x, and this by 42x. Let's pretend that's an 8, by the way. Okay. Then I could eliminate. 42 goes into 2 21 times, and the x is gone. 21 times 3, 63. Ah, the fraction's gone, and the x was gone. Okay? 42 goes into 7 6 times. I couldn't get rid of the x. So 6x times 1, 6x. And then 3 goes into 42, 14 times. And then I would multiply, and I would get big number x squared, and I would solve blah, blah, blah. Okay? But I want you to see the reason I'm doing it this way. And I'm going to solve 26x equals 76. X equals 76 over 26, which is 38 over 13. I think I did that right. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Slope. You've learned how to find the slope. Your teacher taught you y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Something you're going to learn about me is I don't like formulas because I don't remember them. I remember this one, I don't remember all of them. But I know slope is when I have this, there's a point here and a point here, so I go up and over. I'm counting the distance up and the distance to the right. Or I'm counting the distance down and the distance left. I'm finding the distance. So for me, if it's all about distance, I'm going to use distance. So I put the points on top of each other. And I'm actually going to make that a 2, not a 21, okay? Just so it's an easier number. So then I go, okay, what is the distance from 2 to 0? Well, it's going down by 2. What is the distance from 3 to negative 2? Negative 5. And some of you go, no, it's negative 1. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Negative 1, negative 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. Oh, you didn't see any of that. Sorry. 3 to negative 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. Distance. And then I go, well, I do remember the y's are on the top, and I do remember the x's are on the bottom. That's your y, that's your x. Negative over negative is a positive. Could you use the formula and get the same answer? Yeah. Okay? Now, if I'm finding the length, that's the distance. There's a formula. The square root of, well, you look it up. I don't even want to do it. I'm more of a visual person, so I know if I'm finding the distance, I'm finding the distance, here's 3, here's 2, and there's negative 2, 0. I'm finding the distance from here to here. Well, if I find the distance from here to here, and I find the distance from here to here, I can do that Pythagorean theorem, and I know you said I don't remember formulas, but like this one is so no problem for me that it's not a big deal. But this one, I mix up my 2's and my minuses and my subtraction, whatever. Okay? So what does that mean? How high is it from here to here? Oh, it's a distance of 2. And some of you go, it's a distance of negative 2. Distance isn't negative. Okay? But when you're finding the slope, you either have a positive distance or a negative distance. Okay? When you're dealing with length is always positive. If you measured me upside down, I'm not negative 5 feet. The distance from 2 to 3 is 5. So that's just negative 2 squared, which is 4, plus 5 squared, which is 25, equals c squared. Sorry, my handwriting's atrocious. So I get 29 equals c squared, square root, square root. You can use your calculator, and you get about 5.5. If you want to use this crazy formula that you don't even remember that you have to look up, go for it. If you understand what these things represent and how they relate to each other, then you're not thinking as much. Okay? All right. They want you to find the midpoint. That means the halfway point. So what they're asking for is somewhere right there. Okay? So I'm going to use logic here, and I'm going to line them up again. And I'm trying to find out what's in the middle. So let's look. What's in the middle of 2 and 0? 1. That's not a big deal. What's in the middle of negative 2 and 3? Somewhere in the middle. Halfway between 0 and 1 is 1/2 and 0.5. Okay? The equation y equals mx plus b. You need a slope. Aha. Slope, slope. And you need a y-intercept. I don't have my y-intercept. So I'm going to pick one of the points, and I'm going to plug it in. I could pick this one. I'll get the same answer. This is all review. If you feel like you don't remember some of this, then I need you to just ask me during the Zoom. I get a fraction. Can I cross this off? No. So I put it over 1. Negative 4/5 plus b equals 0. Add 4/5 to each side. b equals 4/5. I found my slope. Y equals 2/5 x plus 4/5. It's okay to get a fraction. All right. Let's do domain and range. I'm going to start with letter B. Domain is everything to the right and everything to the left. But it's only there. So I can't, oh, it's only there. What number is that? 2. That's it. And in set notation, 2. That's the only x value I can get. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. My range is everything up and everything down. Well, it's pointing up and it's pointing down. Set notation, all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. If you're struggling here, ask me during the Zoom. Domain is everything to the left, so it starts here and then it goes to the right. So it starts here at negative 2 and gets bigger. X is greater than or equal to negative 2. And then bracket, negative 2, positive infinity, parenthesis. Always small on the left, big on the right. And some of you are going, why are you talking so fast? I only have a 15-minute limit on this video. Range is everything up, it's going up. Everything down, it's going down. All real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay, this is called a step function. Why? Because it looks like a step. What's the domain? Okay, well, it goes from negative 3 to negative 2, parenthesis, because it's open circle. And then it goes from negative 2 to 1. That's bracket, because that's closed. That's open circle. And then it goes closed circle from 1 to 3, parenthesis. Let's look at the range. What's the range? 3. Can't put it in the same thing, because it's only 3. And 1. And negative 2. This one might be a little bit intimidating. Don't stress about it. I want you to more understand the idea between domain and range. Okay? In set notation, it would be, so this is, I'm running out of space here. From negative 3 is less than or equal to x, which is, less than 2. Negative 2 less than or equal to x, which is less than 1. This would be 1 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 3. That's set notation. And then the range in set notation is 3. Interval's way easier for me. All right. I don't like things that are negative. When they're negative, I move them, then they turn positive. Once they're positive, I am a happy girl. The next one. Not everybody's bad. Look at the x is great. It's the y I'm having an issue with. So I'm not going to move the x. I'm happy with you. I will move the y downstairs. Once I move it down, I'm a happy girl. This one, the whole darn thing is negative. So I move the whole darn thing downstairs. Then it's positive. Distribute, distribute. And I'm done. Let's look at this one. What's my issue? My issue is, well, let me add them first. So I have 3 here, but then I take away 4, so now I have negative 1. And then I have 4, and that looks like a 6, so we'll say that's 10. I have an issue with this one, so I move it downstairs. Once I move it down, I don't need the positive 1. I'm a happy girl. I did it. Ask me questions on Zoom and remind.